Right, well, hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 142 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded Monday, July 16th, 2018. Once again, our fearless leader, Andrew, is on hiatus, so I have been tasked with herding the cats again. So I'm Gavin, a business owner, gun enthusiast, hunter, atheist, and CCFR field officer for the GTA.
I'm Better Andrew, a sport shooter in Southern Ontario.
I'm Matt, a heavy equipment operator in Southern Ontario.
I'm Tim. I'm a sports shooter and the owner and operator of Tim's Good T-shirts. They're quite good. I'm also the proud descendant of immigrants.
Excellent. Well, we would love to hear your feedback about the show. So please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Feel free to tell us how much better I read the intro than Andrew, because I haven't screwed it up yet.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
You could also tell us or ask us, what kind of heavy equipment Matt operates, and maybe you're interested about that. Who knows? But
we have the heaviest equipment. Everybody knows this.
Everyone. But you can check out the show on Stitcher and iTunes. But leave us some feedback.
Also, check out the podcast at facebook.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast and Instagram at instagram.com/Canadian Patriot Podcast.
We need your help to support the show. Visit www.patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode, and the more you pledge, the better the rewards are. You can show you're not a communist by buying a CPP t-shirt for just $19.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com and go to the homepage and follow the link on the right.
Excellent. And now for our favorite section, What Are We Drinking? And as always, What Are We Drinking is brought to us by the excellent folk at Arrowhead Coffee. Arrowhead Coffee is owned and operated by Canadian Armed Forces veterans. They love our country, the true north, strong and free. Their family and friends. Join Arrowhead Coffee on their hunt for the perfect brew to raise morale and bring that feeling of home to you, no matter where you are. A portion of all profits help Canadian Armed Forces members, veterans, and their families. So, what are we drinking? Better Andrew.
Drinking Summersby because I ran out of ice.
That's fair. It's hot, so ice is melting very quickly out there. Matt.
Coors Banquet tonight.
Excellent. Left over from the Hawaiian shirt shoot, or just because, Coors Banquet is awesome?
Because I buy it by the case, and there was half a case left.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Tim?
I'm drinking Rickard's Red.
Excellent. And I am drinking Kraken and Coke Zero this evening. I'm probably going to regret that tomorrow, though. But
that is a nice rum.
It is an excellent rum. It's quite good.
I ended up drinking too much Coke when I drink it, but
funny, I have the opposite problem where I end up drinking too much rum when I drink it.
Really?
Yeah. The Coke I'm fine with in the morning. It's especially the Coke Zero. It's the mass amount of rum the next morning that is not so good.
Yeah, the drink will balance itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't balance myself after too many of those.
That's what the bed's for.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. Well, I guess on to our first story, which is probably one of my favorite stories we've ever covered on this, because it's just so ridiculously good.
It's so Trudeau.
Yeah. So the shiniest of ponies, I guess, was on his way somewhere via airplane, and he's walking up the stairs. There's a gentleman standing there on guard giving the salute, and Trudeau turns around and gives like one of those big Trudeau waves to the masses of people. Only there are no people, and there's a video, and if you get the show notes and you look, there's a link to it, but like. He's waving. There is nobody there but the guy taking his photo. Like,
yeah, I think he reached inside the old actor's toolbox on that one.
Yeah,
and like I bet you, like he probably had an entire semester on waving.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like there was thousands of people there.
Yeah,
it was glorious.
It's like a typical '90s TV show where people are introducing themselves in the intro. Here's Justin.
Yeah. And it actually, you know what? It is just like that because those people aren't waving anyone. That studio applause was added in after the fact, much like the crowd in the video, because there's nobody there.
Like his
Like-
approval rating.
Yeah. Man, yeah, it's too good to be true. Like he's a jackass. Like you can't just wave him like a complete moron. Like not just like that little like, I'm the queen sort of barely moving their hand wave, like a full like arm above the head waving, The only way it would have been better if he had just yelled out, "Hey, you guys," or something like that, right? Like
But he's in his little suit with this little pink tie, and he's got his little case with him. That I think I saw someone on Facebook surmised that it's probably full of juice boxes.
I'm just
And goldfish.
that
goldfish crackers, flavor blasted.
Yeah. A ketchup and bologna sandwich with the crust cut off or something. But I'm just like, I'm curious what like that poor bastard that's forced to stand there and salute as this guy goes up. Like, what is he thinking as he sees this guy like coming up and just like, this is my prime minister. And then he just turns around and waves at nobody.
It's like, oh, that's why they took the sleeping bags away.
Yeah.
I love one of the comments in the article, though. It's just perfect. We'll wave back when you leave office.
Yeah, and the crowd will be a lot bigger.
But imagine the soldier standing by him, or it looks like an airman, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but he probably is thinking back to some part of his basic training with like throat punches or something like that. Like he turtle the guy's head with a helmet or something like that.
Well, I guess we should transition from the leader that does sweet fuck all to one that's actually accomplishing some of the things that they've set out to do. Doug Ford forces out the $6 million man from Ontario Hydro.
Now, I think right off the bat, like it's actually so shocking that he did it as quickly as he did. Like I've seen, it's rare to see like a politician come through on any of their promises, but to do it like exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah,
in
within
in a week and a half.
Yeah. He hasn't even been in 2 weeks yet. It's like right at like 11, 12 something days. Like, like this. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like I think this is one of those things that everyone said there's no way that he could accomplish this one either. Like,
and they were going, oh, it won't be worth getting rid of him. You'll have to give him like an $8 million severance package. Like, no, you're wrong, and you're wrong.
The one I kept hearing is that we don't have enough shares to be able to actually get them off the board and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the so strange. It's like there's no way that he could do it because we don't actually have control over it. But it's like whether he did or didn't, he did it. He made good with his promise. Like,
but the thing is, though, it's if you've got to flip it and look at the other side. If Doug Ford in 12 days could get rid of the $6 million man with the miserly little severance package, compared to what everyone was guessing it would be, if he could do that so quickly, then it just shows you how much effect the Premier of Ontario does have on Hydro One, and therefore it just shows you how much Wynne was responsible for all the shit that's been going on.
Yeah.
Since she's been in office, like the doubling of the hydro rates in the past 8 years or whatever. Like,
yeah, no,
like
exactly.
she could have had an effect. Like if Doug can do this in 12 days, surely Wynne could have had an effect if she even gave a shit enough to try.
Well, I mean, she gave enough of a shit to like screw everything up and probably pocket a whole bunch of money by doing the things that she did.
Well, speaking of money, don't forget like a quarter of your hydro bill for the last year it's going to come back with interest pretty soon. We're going to start paying for that, in about 6 months.
Yeah,
But I thought it was 4 years. but I could be wrong. I honestly I can't remember.
All I know is it was going to be gone until after the election. That was for sure. And the greatest impact on our hydro bill was going to happen just for the build up to the election. And then it turned out that we just hated was her glasses.
Or we're just, sexist, misogynists, racists, or some sort of elderists. Is that a word?
Elders, yeah. But so is she though.
I've-
Old white people, people like me.
Yeah. Ivoryists? Is that another word?
Ivorists.
We don't like the people that have ivory? Is that a thing?
I think so.
Well, it is now. But
Yeah, you made another thing, Kevin.
Yeah. Meme magic is real.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for Trump and it worked for Ford, so why can't it work for me? Heck will it so, and now it is the thing. But I guess more things that Ford, or Canadian Trump, as some people like to call him, is doing is cutting $100 million fund from school repairs. I mean, I'm not really sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, or what he's going to do about it. Maybe it's just been axed so that he can take a better look at it, like he's done with some things.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel on it either. Depending on if the things in the article are true, where they talk about different schools that have some drinking fountains that aren't safe to actually be used, or leaking roofs, or extremely drafty windows and unworking ACs. I do see that some schools would have that issue, but if it's a lot, then I don't know how good of an idea this was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of torn on it. Like for better or worse, we have a public school system, and if we're going to have it, we should probably make sure that at least the buildings are in decent enough shape. I'm not so much worried about the air conditioning, because that only affects the teacher's lounge and the library and the office where the administration is.
Oh, you bet that'll be working.
Yeah. Because they certainly didn't give a shit about putting air conditioning in any of the classrooms I was ever in.
Yeah. Well, those portables that they put up everywhere, just loaded with black mold and shitty insulation, and
those are awful.
Yeah, and we all survived that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone will be fine. But I mean, I'm hoping that this is one of those things where he's axed it for now, so that he can take a look at the books and take some time to do that, and then make decisions as to what legitimately needs to be repaired and what is sort of what can wait, or what is just a complete, waste of taxpayer money.
But
rather than just doling it out like it's, it's free.
But I'm thinking about, speaking of free things, like when you get free school, you don't value that. And I was remembering oh shit, I went to school in the 80s, and then I went back to school probably 12 years ago when I was doing martial arts. We would just make an agreement with the school to go in to use their gymnasiums on some evenings or whatever, and you go into the change rooms and they're just filthy. The kids have shit everywhere, clothes and towels and paper towels and shoes and socks, and I'm just in a modest change room, you could take 8 bags of freaking garbage out of there, and this is in the evening. I just don't know what the hell was that from. A day? Was that for of kids running amok in a school? I don't know. I kind of think of we could probably lean towards a Japanese model and make the kids clean their own fucking schools.
Well, I mean, community service is part of the requirements now. That was never part of a thing when any of us probably went to school, but that is you've got to do something like 30 or 40 hours of community service. Some of that should maybe be spent making the place that you go for an education a better place.
Yeah, but you'd probably run afoul of the public sector teachers union, OPSU.
Wow. Yeah, but
I don't know if the custodians must have some sort of
yeah, but I'm sure they
probably fall under that union also, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure they would be fine with other people doing the work and they get the pay and credit for it.
Yeah, they can still drink whiskey in their coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning.
They'd probably pay us for all the work we do.
Yeah.
I know I totally would have done community service, like cleaning up the school or whatever, when I was doing it. But that, as far as I was aware, there was no option of that. So had to go out elsewhere and
Yeah,
work
make
it.
sure
You got to ride somewhere, and
some of the places they allowed you to do that stuff was really bizarre too.
Well, and there's, I think, 800 students in Ontario, like last year, that didn't graduate because they didn't do their community service.
That's ridiculous. That's like,
Yeah, so there's an easy way to help the schools save money and get people to graduate, to get them better jobs, to pay
like if you
theft and put more money back.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to some friends of mine that are younger or that had younger brothers or whatever that did that, and like they would work at like the local bingo hall, and that would be considered community service because that money goes to community stuff, so it's allowed. And it's like you hand out bingo tickets to the elderly. Like, how is that community service? Like you're basically working in a legalized gambling hall.
Yeah,
like,
licensed gambling
for old people. Like, but that's community service. Like, all right, sure. I mean, I think it's a bizarre thing to add in.
Yeah.
To force people to do community service, because I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything, but
comb the waterways and find out where all the giant hogweed is in Ontario.
Yeah.
What could happen?
Yeah, and I think this is an excellent segue into our next article here. You could do that, or you could go and literally clean shit off of the streets in Toronto. Because apparently Toronto has a serial pooper on the loose.
The thing that I don't like right off the bat about this, and I love the serial pooper headline, but they really think it's just one.
Well,
they only have surveillance photos of one.
It's at least one guy that's consistently doing it in the neighborhood of Queen Street West and Peter Street.
And he's planning ahead too. He's bringing toilet paper along.
Yeah.
Not an animal.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently he's pooping in people's gardens and in the park and stuff like that. And
he's probably like this article while pooping.
Yeah. Probably. He's laughing his ass off while he's crapping in the park reading this.
Maybe it's like Peter Parker and he's actually Elizabeth Keith, the writer of the article.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Some sort of poopception going on.
Yes. Damn it. I want photos of the street shitter on my desk by 2 p.m. this afternoon.
Yes, there seem to be some conflicting reports, though, as to what this person looks like. But, yeah, they do believe that there is a serial pooper on the loose pooping in that neighborhood. So if you listen to the show and you're in that neighborhood and you catch someone dropping a deuce in the park, send the photos or the video to the feedback line. We'll air it live on the show.
Yep.
And there is a police officer assigned to this case, though, in Toronto.
It's a shitty job.
Yes.
Yeah. But, at least he's using toilet paper. I mean, we don't want him to be a total savage.
Too bad it's so close that there's a serial pooper on Peter Street. It's like it's so close. If only there was if it was on Deuce Street or or something like that. Like just
Dumper Avenue or
Dumper
something.
Avenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even John Street would be good,
Yeah.
Even Trudeau Ave.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is just one of those stupid stories that,
it's a good story. The man responsible has received many different nicknames for his question, such as Pooping Tom, the Fecal Felon, and the Phantom Crapper, the Mad Pooper, and the Butler.
I think Pooping Tom is the best one, though. Like, I think that conjures up the best image in my mind, at least.
So that picture of him walking, like, is that like a Timmy's in his hand? I don't think it is. I don't think Timmy's does a cup like that.
I think somewhere in here it says he's running around with.
Carrying a Tim Hortons. It is a Tim Hortons cup.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, man. That coffee gets you going in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So he's just, maybe it's a delayed reaction for him, you know. He goes to Timmy's, gets his breakfast and a coffee. He's walking to work, and then, you know,
why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
The Phantom Crapper is described as a man, 5 foot 8 inches tall, approximately 160 to 180 pounds, short, salt and pepper hair. Residents also say he wears glasses. And when he first started shitting in their neighborhood, people thought he may be homeless, but since seeing him, they don't believe he is. So he doesn't appear homeless.
No, I mean, if that's him, I mean, he seems to be wearing jeans that are not ripped, a reasonably clean t-shirt. I mean, he can obviously afford a Tim Hortons coffee and toilet paper.
Yeah. And he can plan ahead.
Yeah.
So he has a certain amount of agency.
Yeah.
You watch. He's going to be someone's dentist or something like that.
Yeah. Some guy that's just like fed up at the city level, like just they told him that like he couldn't extend his driveway out like an extra foot or something.
That's what I was thinking. This could be like the Killdozer guy, and they disconnected his house from the sewer, so he has to, like, you know, goes to work in the morning.
Only he doesn't know how to weld, or
he doesn't. He doesn't have a Killdozer.
He's just shitting in the
park. A good old boy. Never mean no harm.
So he's pooping in the park as a way to get back at the revenue man.
That's his Killdozer. His Killdozer is poop.
Well, I guess not all heroes wear capes, so maybe.
I just hope he manages to do $13 million worth of pooping damage before the end, if that's the case.
Yeah, I wonder what the cost of the city right now is for cleaning up his poop, or do they just leave it and let it, like, you know, go back to nature?
Yeah. I turned the hose on it for about 5 minutes. Now it's not but corn.
Except for the Green Patrol probably came and got them for that.
Yes. Yeah. Put that hose down. Give me your ID.
All right. I guess let's move on to another one here about wasting money. Fed spent $30K to rename the Future Skills Lab, then decided on Future Skills Center.
Yes.
It's like the pot shop logo all over again.
Yeah.
Spending ridiculous amounts of money to
Why
come up
did they
with
have
something.
to rename it anyways? What was wrong with it?
Nothing. I mean, there's clearly too much money there that they, you know, the way they do their budgets, you got to spend it or you lose it. So I guess they had to spend it. So they changed the last name and the title. I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. Is what it is.
So they ran a public opinion poll, which
that's the first thing that you should never do on the internet. Don't ever ask.
Spook face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll end up with that or something to do with Hitler. Like, those are your two options if you ask the internet. But
so the idea in the original name was generated by Bill Morneau, French fry connoisseur.
Skating rink entrepreneur.
Yes.
I think they should just stop letting them come up with ideas. Might save some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but then he won't generate any money. I'm sure he's the one that got paid. Like, it's probably his company that was like the mastermind behind all of this somehow.
Yeah, he probably someone in his family owns the and it's like, oh, we never did any focus testing on the agency's name. So it's just,
yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Probably one of the marketing geniuses in the McCain family that came up with those smiley fries is the one that renamed it.
or when they what was it, the Shreddies that fucking changed it to diamonds? Just rotated their logo 45 degrees.
Yeah. That, you know what? That is definitely the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of genius though. Everyone started talking about it again. So
yeah. Some people, it is so stupid. I just can't believe they spent 30 grand on this. Like, this is retarded. Like, I would have done it for half that money.
Yep.
And that money would have gone to better things, like guns and ammo.
Like 10 CZ, VZ50.
Yeah. And an airtight container.
Yeah.
PVC pipe.
All right. Well, move on to the next one, I guess. There's an article local to you there, Tim. I believe you're the one that found this one as well.
Oh yeah, shit. So I'm expected to know more than the headline.
Well, no, I would never expect anyone on the panel to actually know more than the headline.
My show prep amounts to basically opening a can of beer. But
Yeah, and you are on par so far.
yes, I've done my. Yep. So yeah, there's a Owen Sound Family Health Organization. There's a strike going on at the Owen Sound Medical Center. And what they're doing is they're allowed to stop cars going in for like 2 minutes at a time or something like that. But they got really rude with this one lady. And she ended up collapsing and being put in the ICU. So in
You would
very
think
serious
that
condition.
anyone going into or out of a medical facility shouldn't be messed with.
Yeah, and you would think that. And there's local Facebook groups have been saying, like the people in the local Facebook group, there's someone there who's obviously a proponent of unions. And he was like saying, well, maybe all they want's a fair wage. And it's like, well, if you want people, generally you don't need to picket to get a fair wage, you know?
Yeah. I
Usually
mean,
a wage is struck between your employer and you, but you know, there's outside interference here with like a collective that's, you know, holding, you know, essential services like hostage, so you know they can get more than a fair wage. But
well, yeah, I mean,
like, I could find a CBC article saying that public sector workers make 10% more than their private sector counterparts. You know.
yeah, and I mean, people should be allowed to peacefully protest, but as soon as you start impeding people's movement, especially in and out of a medical center, you start kind of going beyond that peaceful protest. You know? Like, you want to stand outside the building and not block any way, like, people's entry or exit and protest, go right ahead. Zero problem with that.
But this reminds me of like you know, with someone, one of my past girlfriends, her father was a paramedic, and he was a scab because he dared to run an ambulance while the other ambulance like strike, like they have to run a skeleton crew of ambulances kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like still, like his co-workers were like striking, and he had a bone chipped on his elbow because someone swung a beer bottle at him while he was transporting a freaking patient across to, you know, across the picket line. So, but that was like in the 80s. But still, like the healthcare strikers, they don't screw around. They can get pretty nasty. So no,
Yeah.
Gavin, this is, to me, that's a pattern in the area anyway of like
for sure.
the health sector unions, like, you know, the strikers getting pretty violent on the picket lines. But now the thing is, that woman later died, I believe. And I've just been so busy in the past week, but I think I heard that she later died.
Well, let's just assume she did because it makes the people picketing sound that much better. I mean, it's not like anyone fact checked us, so let's just go with she's dead now, right?
The woman quite likely died, and you can research that if you have interest.
Yeah. But either way, like, don't be a dick and block. Like, protest all you want. You have a right to, but don't be a dick and block a hospital.
Well, I don't like when people are on strike that they bitch and moan about how essential they are. And it's just like, if you were really that essential, you would just say, we want this. And people would say, okay. But
Yeah.
it's like the union has either screwed things up so much or, I don't know. I have different thoughts on the union. There's different things they do. Like sometimes they appeal to people. They appeal to some people's ego and say, oh, you're better than a lot of people. Therefore, you should make this much money and we can get you this much money and all you have to do is pay us this much in return, kind of thing. And then there's other people with absolutely no skills at all and they just band together, like there are unions with people who like that you could learn their job in about like a week of training, kind of thing.
Not even.
Not even one orientation day and some common sense, and then you could like be doing a union job. But so anyway.
Oh yeah. Maybe we should just start handling it like they've been doing in the States with the protesters in front of ICE, where they just mace them.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the law that they passed to allow you to run them over if they're blocking the streets.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking some heavy equipment. We could get that our heavy equipment operator to get in there.
Yeah, what would be the best heavy equipment to plow through a protest line, Matt? Do you have an opinion on it?
I think a bulldozer would work quite well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That would be your vehicle of choice?
That would be my vehicle of choice.
What about a combine?
That's more farming. I'm not as expert in that. But just pushing stuff out of the way I can handle.
Yeah, combine I think would probably work, but it would be we need Marty on the show because he's our local farm equipment guy. But I would imagine that's a little bit messier, but probably still effective.
I feel like our taxes would go up from having to hose down the streets from that.
Oof. Yeah, you don't want to get those street sweepers all up on a tizzy.
Yeah.
If you think that the nurses are bad when they strike, wait till those guys go on strike.
So the replacement worker who they yelled at and called a scab as they shook her car as she was just trying to go make some freaking money.
And help people.
She was a phone operator. She would answer the phones and that. So that's the skilled job she was taking away from those skilled workers. So
how dare she?
Yes, exactly.
How dare she answer the phones at a hospital? That's there to help
my
people.
job.
Yeah.
I've paid her. I've cornered the racket on that.
Yes. Yeah, a job that pretty much anyone that has a voice box and a hand can do. But, well, whatever. I guess another. I'm surprised this next article here that I've got is not from Quebec, because they're the kind of place that normally does this. But apparently Vancouver Island has taken a page out of Quebec's book, and no bike riding, no chalk drawing, things like that are no longer allowed in Vancouver Island because they are officially the fun police. So
it's not even that. No hockey, baseball, skateboarding, bicycling, any sports. So you basically can't play outside. Yeah.
So to anyone living in the Artisan Gardens, a neighborhood development somewhere in Vancouver Island, is prohibiting outdoor play on the roadway. So yeah, no ball hockey, no baseball. I guess no hide and seek. Certainly no cowboys and Indians because that's insensitive and against the bylaw. That's ridiculous. Like kids, as long as they're not disrupting traffic or being dangerous, they should be able to play in the street. Like I'm sure we all did that at some point in our childhood. I know I certainly did.
Yeah. Always bike around in the middle of the street and
go
all over the place.
Well, yeah, like you'd play ball hockey, and then like there's the famous scene from Wayne's World, right? They're all out there playing ball hockey, and then they yell car, and then game on, and back and forth, and so on, and like that's part of growing up. Also, learning not to be a dick and get out of the way when the car's coming, because they will run you over, preferably with a bulldozer, as we've already established. Yeah. But I mean, it's ridiculous. It's no wonder kids are like glued to their phones and stuff like that because they're not even allowed to play outside anymore because you'll get a ticket. You know, you throw one water balloon and you splash a little water on your driveway, you get a ticket. You walk your kid down the street in a stroller because it's not busy, get a ticket.
Well, yeah, this is just like a bunch of miserable voters, like old cranky bastards who just don't even want to. They just want a nice little quiet neighborhood, and they don't. Kids should be. They don't even want to see them or hear them. You know.
Yeah,
But
it's just ridiculous. Like if
it
you
is.
don't move, if you move, like
Well, just get over it.
yeah,
You
or
know?
that, yeah. If you
Get over
can't,
it.
fucking
You just
move.
you stripped liberty from these children.
Yeah.
That's what you did, and like the fact that that can be done so easily legally is stupid. You know.
Well.
That's you know what they need. They need a serial shitter. A professional serial shitter to go and just shit on their fucking steps. Like you should just put a brown, get Gandalf the Brown.
Tim, there's a bylaw against
doors.
that. You can't do
Is
that.
it bylaw against that?
Yeah, you can't do that. There's a bylaw against that.
You probably
Oh, yeah, no street shitting. No pooping in a bag and sending other.
No having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
No walking outside. No breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually I can't get too much into this, but I went out on shooting on Saturday. I couldn't make it up for the Hawaiian shirt shoot, but I did go shooting, and I went shooting with a friend of mine that's a bylaw officer, and let me tell you, there is some fun stuff coming down the pipe that we are going to be talking a bunch about. So stay tuned, but it's hilarious what they're going to be allowed to get away with. I think everyone will have a good chuckle at this. I'll tell you.
I just got a new gun kind of fun, or the I'm not allowed to play on the street kind of fun?
I'll tell you guys in the after show. So for all you Patreons out there, no, but for all you Patreon people out there, there is an option. If you spend a bunch of money, you can partake in the after show where these stories come out. So you should probably do that. It'll be well worth the extra shekels. Promise.
Sure.
Yeah. But I guess on to our last story of the evening here. Canada's embassy in Haiti has been taken for 1.7 million by a gang of swindlers and fraudsters.
Oh, some of that was my money.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So all the people that are running from the U.S. north of the border to Canada to seek refuge.
Even the ones that lose parts of their fingers to frostbite?
Yeah.
When they cross in Manitoba in February?
Yeah, they're brothers and sisters and cousins and mothers and daughters and husbands and wives and all of that are still stuck over in Haiti have just swindled 1.7 million out of the Canadian embassy there.
Why do we even have an embassy there?
I guess because we have an embassy in every country that allows us to. In case somebody from Canada wants to go visit Haiti, they've got a place that they can go and complain when their passport gets stolen.
Jesus. You think you just I think there's we should cut out the 25% most dangerous countries and then just pull them out.
Yeah, one would assume.
Think of the security and stuff you have to do, and then if you decide to go there,
don't even bother selling the building. Just pull out. Yeah. Just burn all the documents and just pull out, like they did in Korea when it fell.
If a Canadian wants to go there, you just go. Well, good luck.
Yeah,
you're on your own.
Yeah. Which you pretty much are, even in any of those first world countries that have an embassy. It's not like they actually do anything for you. But yeah, I guess that's more money that we're gonna pay with our tax dollars or have already paid that we'll never get back.
Like the car that the one local worker took from the embassy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he needed it more than they did.
I mean, he just changed the ownership and nobody noticed, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that guy that smuggled all the gold out with his butt, right? Nobody noticed, so nobody cared. So You can do it and nobody notices.
So, So, what was the? Did they go into detail about the what kind of fraud that the?
Well, that would mean that I had to read the article, Tim.
The one
Let's give. It's 9:40. Let's give it a shot.
It says 2 locally hired workers responded using Canadian diplomatic plates without authorization. Embassy staff discovered the 2 workers had been using these vehicles as their own for several years, and one had even transferred ownership without embassy management noticing.
$600,000 in cleaning and maintenance contracts was awarded to a couple of the people working for the embassy.
And one of them was owned by the aunt of a Canadian woman of Haitian origin. I wonder if there's any ties to Morneau, because that would seem to make sense.
You know what I like to do every once in a while? You look up. There's a Wikipedia for the list of countries, and you could buy intentional homicide rate.
Yeah, wait, intentional?
Yeah, per 100,000, and it's kind of interesting, but
I don't know. Investigators found irregularities with the signatures on the quotes, contracts, invoices, receipts, and checks.
So they found irregularities. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Invoices, receipts, and checks of 2 firms.
Lots of people writing checks out to pay for stuff and then just cashing it in their own bank account.
Yeah. Clearly, there
seems like this should have been
balances for their checks.
It should have been a lot quicker to catch this than 1.7 million. Like, that's a lot of money in Haiti.
And most of this was over, I believe, a year or 2.
Yeah, they should still have. Like, I run a business. We notice things within a month. You know, like, that would be the longest that something goes without us catching it. And it would have to be, like, something minute for it to go that long. Like, it would have been way cheaper than 1.7 million for them to hire some sort of accountant that their entire job is to be, like, a soulless bean counter who counts all of the pennies going in and out.
Yeah, there are guys who would love to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them in that neighborhood in BC that don't like the kids playing outside.
Yeah, they would love to just sit in a windowless room just counting. Ah, yeah, peace and quiet. No fun in here.
I noticed an irregularity on this check.
Yeah.
This guy was having way too much fun.
Yeah. One of your L's in your name looped too high. This is not you. This is ridiculous. I mean, that's just more money wasted that we'll never get back, that could have gone to much better things that could have stayed in our pockets. But yeah, I agree. Like, why do we even still have an embassy there? Like, let's just get rid of it, along with a bunch of others.
Like, I don't know, like, what percent of the populace ever will end up at an embassy? Like, the embassies are for...
Yeah, it's for us.
Our citizens.
Yeah.
And, like, what percent of the country ever actually needs to go to an embassy?
Yeah, well, what can they do that we can't do over the internet now?
Yeah. It seems like they probably needed them in, like, 1912, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, when you had a passport, and if it went missing... There was nothing for you to do. Like, you'd be stuck.
Yeah, like if you had Zeppelin problems and needed to get back to, like, your home country.
Yeah. Oh, the humanity. But, like... Yeah, in this day and age with, email and fax machines and all kinds of things, like, you don't need these, really. And, like, especially in super dangerous places that people aren't going.
Well, that's what I was saying, and I looked up, and Haiti isn't that bad, actually. Like, in intentional homicide, Canada's like 1.68 people per 100,000 for intentional homicide, and Haiti was actually only 10. So they're only like 8 times worse than Canada, kind of thing. But I remember there was
But compared to other places, that's still quite low. Yeah.
yeah, it is. Like if you go like Belize, remember there was like a Canadian woman had like an American boyfriend, and they were killed in Belize, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Yeah.
Because they just like think it's like some sleepy Central American like paradise, and it's just like no, they got like 37.6. You know,
Yeah.
they're like.
Yeah, like
Yeah, their intentional homicide rate's like
yeah.
18 times higher than Canada, and these are people
Yeah.
probably who would say, "Oh, the U.S. is so violent. I'm afraid to go to the U.S." And it's just like, they go to
But
Belize,
Belize
and
is
it's like,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, amazing at being the murder capital of the world. But
yes, Jesus. Tell
although,
you, if the liquor doesn't make you blind from the methanol, then
yeah. Well, it's yeah. I guess that sums it up for the evening. I mean, another sort of short and sweet and to the point episode. We're so much more efficient when Andrew's not here.
We're just
But
better.
it's true. It's true. But yeah, I guess the petition. So if you haven't done that yet, I don't know why you're listening to the show because you're useless. But if you haven't, do them. oneclearvoice.ca. We don't have any rapid fire feedback.
I was just going to say there's 10 days left on the petition.
Oh, there you go. So this is going to be the second last time you hear about this, folks. So seriously, like, just fucking go do it. And the One Clear Voice.
load it up, set your wife in front of the computer, get her to do it.
Yeah, do it for her.
Yep, do it for her and your girlfriend.
Yep. And all of your kids.
Yes.
Your neighbors. Everyone that you know and you know their email address. Just do it. You won't regret it. We don't have any rapid fire feedback unless there's so many good comments in the live. I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, let's go pop over there.
Anything good? Anything worth mentioning?
It's loading. It's loading. Wow.
I think Augusto Pinochet is the only one who's been watching.
Well, we do appreciate that. And we will certainly look to the skies for your guidance.
Watching.
But I guess, yeah, no, that's it for the show. I guess, where can everyone find you? Tim?
You can find me at facebook.com/Tim's Good T-shirts, but don't. I'm too busy.
I want some good T-shirts.
You have to go elsewhere. You'll have to find mediocre ones.
Oh, damn.
The Tom's mediocre shirts.
Yes.
Andrew, where can everyone find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at betterandrew.biz or andar.ca.
Excellent. Matt, when you're not pushing heavy equipment around, where can people find you? Yeah.
Instagram.com/McPhersonMax.
Excellent. You can find me on the Instagrams at Urbex_GTA. You can also find me like helping Andrew teach some classes with Ragnarok. Visit our website, ragnaroktactical.ca or .com. We've got both.
Yeah.
Unshitty yourself.
Unshitty yourself. Take a course.
Yeah. Buy some bandages. Tampons are not for plugging bullet holes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I've got. So to everyone out there, you are the true north, strong and free.